and in this video we are going to use the logical operator with if else. So what are logical operators? Logical operators help us make logical decision. So logical operators are basically of three types: logical or, logical not, or logical and. So the result of any logical operator is always an Boolean value. Okay, and logical operators are mostly used to evaluate two conditions. So I'll just mention the logical or operator. So we will use this sign for logical or operators, and for logical and operators we will use the ampersand two times, and we will use this sign for logical and operators. And for logical not operator, I'll use the exclamation mark. So let's just go ahead and understand about these operators. So I'll just create a main function, and then inside the main function I'll create a if block. So I have to evaluate a condition, like if this is true or that is true. Okay, so if I is equals to 5, before that I have to just mention the variable I is equals to 3. Okay, so if I is equals to 5 or I is equals to 3, okay, in that case I'll print that I is either 5 or 3. Okay, so that is the basic meaning of an OR operator. Okay, so when I use an OR operator, what it does is it checks the first condition and it checks the second condition also. Let's say that first condition is I equals to 5 and the second condition is I is equals to 3. So when I use the OR, logical OR operator, if the first condition is true and the second condition is true, then the output is also true. And if the first condition is true and the second condition is false, then also the output is true. If the first condition is true and if the first condition is false and the second condition is false, then also the output is true. And only in the case when both the condition are false, then only the output is false. Okay, so let's just go ahead and run this program and get a better understanding of what I said. Okay, so here I is 3, so this is true, and but this is not true. But we can see that the output of this condition as a whole is true. So I'll just go ahead and change the value of I as 4. Now I can see that both of the conditions are false. So it does not go into the if block and just skips that. It is because that the both conditions are false, then only the code does not get executed. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and create a new variable a and give it that value as 5. Now I'll use the AND operator, and logical operator. Okay, so if I is 5 and a is 5, then print I is 5 and a is 3. Okay, now we will just understand this. So what is AND logical operator? So it should say that my condition 1 should be true and my condition 2 should be true. Okay, so here my condition 1 is I is 5 and my condition 2 is A is 5. So when both conditions are true, then only the output is true. Now suppose any one of my condition is false and the another condition is true, then the output of this is false, because when I check this, that I should be equal to 5 and a should be equals to 5. But when I is not 5 and a is 5, the if block is not executed, because it when I use the AND operator, if block is only executed when both conditions are true. Okay, and if both conditions are false, then also it will not get executed. So when I run this program, I can predict that it does not get into the if block, and yes, it does not get into the if block. So I'll just change the value of I is 5, and I can see that, okay, so my bad, and yes, the if block gets executed when both conditions are true. So that was about the AND logical operator. Now what about the NOT logical operator? So when I use the NOT logical operator, like you can remember when I was covering operators, I used exclamation mark equal to, that represents not equal to. Okay, so when I use I not equal to 5 and I change here I 7, so the if block will get executed here because I is not equal to 5. As simple as that. Okay, so the logical not is used to negate the condition. Whenever the condition is true, the output is false, and whenever the condition is false, the output is true. Okay, so like till now we have covered the logical operators in if else, and the if else ladder, the nested if else. Okay, in the next video we will cover another topic.